Okay, guys, we finally we're working out the kinks. This is the first time that we got to film in our new warehouse that we promised you guys we would get. Okay.
It took a while.
It took a minute.
It took a minute to get it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of back and forth with the realtors.
Yeah, and not even in this space. There was a lot of different. There was not a lot. There was different options that we could have chose from. But we're just super stoked to be in this warehouse. And yeah, guys, we have lights, cameras, and there's a lot of action here. But we are trying to work out the kinks. And bro, we got our freaking sign. How official is that sign, Brand? Tell me not.
No, that's sick. Whoever the lady is who made it.
Yeah, Happy Coffee Designs on Instagram. If you guys are interested in signs and stuff like that. Oh, we doing our first shout out already.
Yeah. The new spot for a shout out.
Yeah, first shout out. But thank you so much. And thank you for our returning listeners.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been a little bit of a break, but we definitely have not taken a break. It's just been a lot of end of the year stuff.
But let's recap then, right? Because mean, really, it's been a good month or so.
Yes.
And it wasn't because we didn't want to do it. It was just because we're doing stuff.
Yeah.
So let's go into December, right?
Okay. Ending of December.
What was your December?
Yeah. So, most of my from December, before Christmas, I spent a lot of time on Oahu.
Yeah.
There was a lot of in-person events. The biggest one was with the Green at the Blue Note.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent 5 days at the Blue Note, 2 shows a night, opening for the Green.
Yeah.
That was from the 27th till January 2nd. So I spent New Year's on Oahu.
Yeah.
And then stayed there till the 5th because my brother flew up.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was super cool.
He was stoked, huh?
Yeah, it was the first time he's a skater, so it was the first time he got to really check out some real skate parks up there on Oahu.
Yeah.
And then after that, came back, but then had to fly back. I think January 7th or the 9th for another week half.
Yeah, so basically you're on Kauai for 5 days.
Yeah.
From December to second week January.
Exactly. Yeah. And what were you up to during those? Because I know what you was doing, but
so we were just locking down logistics, right? We're getting, like he said, there was a couple options for buildings, and it was pros and cons to both of them. So we're trying to figure that out, when it's gonna happen, and if anybody's ever done realty in Hawaii, it doesn't go fast or smooth. So it's figuring out which one works, and then this other guy's we can't do that, or it's going to be a month more, and you're oh,
yeah,
I kind of need it now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then needing it.
Yeah, and then we kind of came back to the first and our original space that we were looking at, and we went with it. But it was a lot of that, locking that down, and then Christmas time in Hawaii, right before Christmas to right after New Year's, from a tourism standpoint, is the busiest.
Yeah.
So as far as work goes, that was that's when I don't get any breaks. I got to work the whole time through.
Yeah.
All the different businesses, it's okay, got to be here, got to do this.
Yeah. So restaurant, you're driving.
Restaurant, cars, shuttles.
Shave Ice. No?
Shave Ice. Yeah. Everything's just busy.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything's based on, or tourism has such a big effect on everything.
Yeah.
So because that's that, it was just go.
Mm-hmm.
Plus nothing happens during Christmas time.
Yeah.
Meaning I can't get anything signed. I can't get any paperwork done. Everybody's on vacation from halfway through Christmas to 2 weeks after.
Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
No, I couldn't get nothing done. I'm calling places. Everybody's out of the office.
Bro, luckily for those of you who bought merch and stuff like that, thanks to this guy, because he told me that if I didn't have my merch order for Black Friday in by end September, I'm not going to get it. And we had ideas, and I thought, so we got the order in. It was a little bit more on the late side than what we wanted.
It was tighter than we wanted.
It was yeah.
It's tighter than they told us.
Yeah, exactly.
But it got here. Yeah.
It got here, but to Brandon's point, bro, I'm like, nah, we get time. And then when it was time for everything to get delivered here, I'm like, oh, bro, 1 week, turn it to a week half, turn it to 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, wait, now this is cutting into the rollout and packaging and all this, you know. So just to Brand's point, bro, yeah, it was not much getting done, but on our side, like, it was nonstop. Like I said, while I was on Oahu, you know what I mean? It was, you get up and we have till about maybe 11 or so, where you're kind of just getting in the you're definitely not like browsing, chilling, ala Moana. You're kind of just like at your room, kind of getting settled.
Yeah.
1 a.m. Sound check, and then you're there till, 1 p.m. sound check, and then you're pretty much there till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And that was nonstop for five days, and you know, it was cool. It's always good fun. But I got to sell a lot of the merch at the Blue Note.
No, yeah.
Which was the first time. This is the second time that I got to open up for the green, but the first time I flew all my merch up there. So, you know, it's interesting how they kind of have the layout at the Blue Note, because there's the line forms. People are let into the venue, and then at the end of the venue, they come out, and then everyone kind of just naturally cruises by the shop. So I didn't know about sales. It was cool. Like, they displayed everything, you know, nicely. But at the end, you know, got a check, and I was just a little bit surprised. I'm like, oh, there's a lot more we can do here. Like collaborative merch and just random stuff.
No, yeah, and last year was kind of our first dipping our toes in the water, right?
Yeah. So
we got some cooler stuff coming up, which is cool.
Super sick stuff.
Yeah.
Super stuff I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah. From merch to the amount of content, and then also products and stuff like that, partnerships, sponsorships, you know, really exciting stuff, guys.
And then let's talk about, so we're talking about like our schedules and that it was busy, whatever.
Yeah. Good fun.
But let's talk about, like, I feel like there's been a lot of people changes. Like Keen.
Oh, yeah.
Jaden.
Okay. The team.
So that's kind of what I want to bring up is, like, there's been a lot of additions to the team. A lot of, like, awesome brothers and sisters who've, like, honestly just been down. Yeah. Right? Like, so Keen helped you at the Blue Note.
Yes.
Film. That was kind of the first time you met him, right?
100%. So Keenan reached out through the DM. What's that?
Nothing.
No, you say Keen.
Okay.
Because I call him Keens.
Okay, that's why I'm like.
Yeah, Keen. So Keenan, brother Keenan, you know, we've connected through DM and stuff like that before, because a few months back I was looking for like videographers on Oahu. Long story short, when I was at the Blue Note, there was an opportunity for, you know, to have him kind of film, catch behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Whatever happened at the Blue Note with the green. And, you know, shit. Hey, the paint is still there.
The paint's too strong.
Oh, man. That's classic.
That's very funny. That's all right. You just got to put choke, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Or we just got to, like, nail it in or something.
Yeah. Because even if you put, like, hangers or something where it was just, like...
Yeah, something.
But should I just leave it off? You think it'll fall again? Probably.
Probably fall. It's all good. I mean, we only put it up in 2 minutes. Just for the sake
all I can say is whoever had painted that wall, that's a
job.
great paint job. That's a great paint job.
4 coats.
Yeah, keep your hands down if you'd paint that wall. Nah, but anyway, guys, back to sorry. I mean, we'll figure that out. That's the main thing is we get the sign, we get the space. If all we gotta do next is get some solid Gorilla Tape, we will find that Gorilla Tape. Okay. But yeah, so Keenan is a videographer on Oahu who enjoys editing. He makes his own videos. He edits his own vlogs and stuff like that. So we connected, and while I was there on Oahu, he said that he could come. I asked him if he could come and film, and I think it was the first or the second, one of those days where he was not renewing his vows. He was actually, his wedding was postponed because of COVID.
Oh,
Yeah, so this is supposed to happen a few years back, but long story short, they had it one of the days that the shows.
really?
Brother.
Seriously?
No, yeah. And
See, I didn't know that.
brother still came out.
It's like, I gotta go on.
Yeah, well,
I gotta go film.
thank goodness. I don't know how he made it work. I really don't from a time standpoint, but Brandon made it work. But you know, to Brandon's point, when he says that we met some people who were super down, it was like, from the end of from maybe end of December even till now, there's been so many people who everything that we're kind of looking for in building a team and like having these roles filled, like these people have been popping up.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, and we look for very specific people because there's people who are ultra talented, right?
Yes.
They got skills, they do a great job editing or this or that. But we kind of just want people who are down for I don't know, not for the cause, but like they're in it for like making the content. Like no egos.
Yeah.
No, like, oh, this is me, this is whatever, like, or this is too hard, or oh, I don't want to do that. Like everybody's just down. That's interesting. Everybody's very like-minded.
Yes.
In the sense of like, oh, the project just needs to be good.
Exactly.
Like you just need to do a really good job.
So the conversations are always really good and energizing for me,
and it's very productive too, right? Mm-hmm. Like everybody brings something to the table.
Yes.
Everybody adds.
Exactly.
You know, so that's ultra, and like he's just super passionate about what he does. So it's just nice. It's nice to see people are doing stuff and like they don't just say, well, this is like what I'm paid for. So like I'm done. Yeah. I'll see you next year.
Exactly.
Whatever. It's like, no, I want to do this good. Oh, no. Like I'm doing it now. Like,
yeah,
oh,
let me know.
Let me redo this. Like,
exactly.
Tell me, give me all the stuff you want me to change.
Yeah. Hey, this is done. Did you check it? You know what I mean? It's like, it's cool to see people as passionate about different things. Like, what do you mean? Like, what am I trying to say? Like, he likes to edit. Yeah. He enjoys editing top to bottom.
Yeah.
I like writing. I like storyboarding. You know what I mean? Like, it's just cool to see people have that same kind of passion in different fields, I guess. So Keenan is this guy, this solid brother who, you know, he continues. He's always in my ear after the shows. You know, always trying to hit me up on like he puts the pressure on, and
which is good,
which is great.
It's what you need.
Exactly. It's what we need for the team, and like what we want to do, how much content we want to push, the different kind of buckets we want, like vlogging, podcasts, funny stuff, you know, and all the different characters. So it's just been cool to talk story with him and see how much drive the brother has, you know, for like Brandon was saying, it's not even a money thing. It's he is so stoked to be a part of this like movement, or you know, just to be a part of the team and how he can help. It's sick.
And then we had a ton of like, I guess maybe we should reverse a little bit. But we had a ton of meetings. During that time, which I bring that up because the people in the meetings were super cool.
Oh, yes.
So we have a ton of partnerships coming up this year that like we're signing contracts and going to do some stuff. And everybody's been so down, right? Like in a sense where they're allowing you to kind of work hand in hand with them.
Yes.
To like do the creative part. Where that's not normal.
Yes.
Right? They usually come ask you to like act and say this is kind of what we're gonna do, say something funny and call it, right? Like,
yes. And it's always been okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, I would say honestly, like not tooting my own horn or the companies, but it's always been like decent. It's always like, that was funny. But now, like you're saying, like we get to get more of a creative control in like whatever the creative or characters or even verbiage on like what we can say, because and I feel like that's so how we do stuff, in that we always just try to want to make it good, you know, not the cool thing, not the what's right versus wrong, what is going to be the best, you know, for this like message. But exactly, so it's been cool working with them in that capacity, like that, you know.
But I mean, just have it like, I like that there's so many people that are just that we're interacting with that are just trying to do it super well.
Yeah.
And open to it and like open to discussion, right? Like they're not just coming in like this is how we did it, this is how we always do it.
Yeah.
They're like, well, what are the ideas? Let's talk.
Yes, exactly.
And then we can flush out ideas. We can take pointers from them.
Yeah.
And say, okay, this is what you're looking for. Okay, so what if we did this?
Yes.
You know, and then they can give us some feedback, and we can be like, okay, so let's tweak it this way. You know, that's what's been super refreshing is all the different people in all the different like companies, because it's like a bunch of companies, right? And then there's a bunch of other people like who we work parallel with, like Zane.
Yes.
Right, where he's like another film guy.
Yeah.
Who's, I would call him more like passionate about like the producing side.
Yes.
Like just all over, like whether it's lighting, whether it's storyboard, whether it's like beginning to end.
Honestly, like a vision, like he can, you kind of chop it up with this guy and he sees a vision or understands our vision and he can execute like crazy. You know what I mean? He can tweak this and that and it's just so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then like Jaden just started like, and she's awesome. Yeah. Like it's just somebody who's like wants to do stuff well. Yes. Wants to figure out like what kind of things can I do in my life. And like, so for like those admin-y, like really like for me, hard stuff to do. For for me, if it's hard for you, cousin, I'm not doing it. Right. Stuff that like I don't particularly enjoy. Yeah. Like, she just kills it. For real. I looked at that calendar. I know that's not your handwriting. Oh no. If it was my handwriting, it would look like hand chickens. Exactly. Like, it'd be terrible. Illegal prescription you give me out. You know what I mean? Exactly. Zannies. No, she did the whole calendar, today. I was like, oh. Bruh. But so even that's like something that is super important that we have to do because, like Brandon's saying, like we've had a lot of conversations and meetings with companies. And when we talk to companies like the ones we've been talking to, this is not like one project, two project. This is like partnerships long term for 12 months minimum. Yeah. That eventually could potentially be something even more than that. So we're looking at stuff zoomed out, zoomed in. You know what I mean? We're talking about specific campaigns. We're talking about different commercials or like series that we build out 6-part episodes to. Yeah. So it's important that we have someone like Jaden to kind of put these things on paper and it's like, brother, like, where's your head at? Like for me, I'm talking. Yeah. Like, where's your head at right now? No, 100%. I mean, yeah, she'll keep us straight. Oh, you guys are late. You better hurry up. Yeah. Like, go do that now. Did you do this? Yeah, exactly. No, and that's the people we need. And that's when we talk about team. There's like so many different parts of it. Yeah. And all of it's super important. Yes. Yeah. So and that's kind of like been super refreshing. So the team, as far as like internal team. Yes. And then even like the partnerships and external team, that we've worked with or will start working with. Yeah. So it's been that to me has been like the best part. It's been a lot of people. No, for real. Like, from the ending or mid-December to now, it's been, I mean, just what we have geared up for this coming year is like with who we've been talking to is super exciting. It almost fills our calendar, but not really if we can, have Jaden schedule out stuff and make sure that we're straight. Because for me, the more I take on with like these kinds of companies, the more creative I feel, the more juiced I feel. Yeah. Oh, you're going to let us run with this minute commercial. Oh, you're going to let us, do this 30-second commercial, whatever it is. Or you're going to let us build out this campaign. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, it's been so good. And I'm so grateful. Like I'm super grateful, super stoked for the for what is to come and who we're going to be working with soon. Yeah. Yeah, and we have all these partnerships coming down the line. And like that's kind of like we've been having a bunch of conversations like what's the goal for this year? Yeah. What does this look like? We just moved into this new warehouse. We've been a lot of cleaning. Like this guy is a for real janitor. in his soul. Bruh. And we had to even tap into Brandon's inner custodian. Yeah, I had to. Yeah, because we spent probably 16 hours scrubbing floors. 100%. With machines, this is not even like by hand. That's how like gnarly.
Yeah. I'm not talking battery operated. I'm talking plugged in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm talking clockwise, counterclockwise scrubbing.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for me is like I've never renovated like my house or like anywhere that I've lived, or I've never had to, you know, have a space to build out, upkeep, or like paint, you know, from like painting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the changes from a 3-day basis, like, holy crap. We have before and after photos. I'll clip them. Clip them in here.
Yeah.
Because even just painting one wall black is such a big transformation.
No, 100%.
Scrubbing the wall. I mean, scrubbing the
floors, the cement floors.
Sealing them with a nice.
Yeah, sealing them up.
Yeah.
Making them cherry.
Yeah.
Laying it out. Starting to build sets.
Starting to build sets probably for me has to be the most fun because we get to step into like furniture warehouses, and like I get to tap into my inner Kumu or my inner fighting Brada, where like, oh, that would be cool, you know?
And then just kind of planning the rollouts. I mean, so this year, like, I think is our kind of like building year.
Yeah.
Right? We're getting all these new partnerships. We start to put out like the best that we can content.
Yes.
Right? Really thoughtful. Like, we've sat down for hours on these things already.
Yeah.
Like, that's a like
3 specific series we've spent hours talking
sitting
about.
down, going over, revamping.
Yeah.
Like spinning, and then something golden pops up.
Yes.
Eventually.
And it's not to say that we're trying to freaking get this thing 100,000% and it needs to be perfect. That's not what it is. It's less of that. It's more what can we know we can do like consistently.
Yeah, and even for me, it's like, what are the needs of our partners? Right? Like, these people we're gonna work with, like, they have specific reasons why they need advertisement, commercials, whatever. So we better meet it instead of just do something funny.
Exactly. And exactly, I have to touch on that because the commercial that we just filmed for Ohana Construction, the response was so overwhelming in the best ways that they have outer islands calling for the product, but that side of stuff isn't quite set up. They're building the infrastructure for it, but it's just like, that's what I want to hear from local businesses. You know, when they work with us, I want it to be such an overwhelming positive response that they're like, holy crap. You know, like, I knew it was gonna be good, but I told them from the beginning, if this actually airs, this is going to be the best local commercial ever, like right now. You know, because as a comic, as someone who creates content, you just don't see that kind of stuff. It's not we're better or this and that. It's just you don't see that kind of stuff, you know? So when we get to showcase stuff like that, like products and stuff, it's cool.
No, it's super fun. I mean, I like it. I like it because it's a problem-solving thing, right? Like, from the back end. Yeah. It's like, okay, so what do they need? Does that even, like, get them what they want? Yeah. Like, they said do this, but, like, I'm kind of going to tell them, no, that's not going to really get you where you need to be.
Exactly. If that's really what you want. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Right? And the more you dig in, there's, like, just options. Right?
Options, yeah.
Right? And then, so what can you do? I mean, and everything can turn into, like, a series, right?
Yeah.
And just like
we've been talking about, you know, we're trying to build out a few campaigns for different companies, but we're looking at, you know, like taglines, something that can be like long term and play out for like super long.
Well, I mean, I think we're just like everything advertising, right? Taglines, like music that associates with that company.
Yes.
Like what is the what kind of things does this company need, and how do we get people to see them in that light? Yeah. You know, like just whatever. But like, I think this year will be a good building year, and people will see. Yes. Like our ability, and our ability will grow as our team grows. Yes. And as like the budgets grow, right? Of what we can do, how much exposure we get. But I'm super confident that we are as high as anybody else in the state as far as exposure. And as we build up our like portfolio of like different commercials and different skits and different podcast and different
on different platforms,
on
all platforms. Yeah.
On all platforms, then we can get people the exposure that they need.
Yeah.
Right? Not even just the clickbait exposure, the one that creates engagement.
Exactly.
The one that gets people to comment,
That
the
lives
one
on.
that gets people to like go to the place that actually strums those chords that gets people to like actually use the
That
product.
has to be the best, is when you put that, when you kind of have an idea, when you kind of talk it over with your, between me and you, or me, client, or whoever it is, and you put that, and you pull that out, put them on paper, and you get one old grandpa for yell at one brother on the roof, telling him for spray some of that product on him because it's going to give him 10 to 15 years of life. And then you go into a restaurant like in Taro's, and then the Portuguese uncle in the back is like, hey, what, honey? You can spray some on me or what? I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
Job well done. Whether you gonna do your roof or not, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like it's just because.
But you're gonna remember it.
You're gonna remember it, and brother is telling his family how much times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So from a what kind of value we bring, I feel like we check those boxes and
purposefully, right?
Purposefully,
like, because it's like it's not like we just like, oh, we're the shit. That's not what it is.
No,
It's like we put in more work.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's really it, right? Like we're not better than anybody.
No.
We just work as hard or more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Period.
100%. And yeah, bro, it's been fun. So towards the end of the year and mid-January, it's just been a lot of filming, a lot of time on Oahu, and a lot of meetings and stuff like that, trying to set up this coming year, and things are falling into place. Things are happening.
Oh, things are happening. I mean, we're working so many different things, right? Whether it's the whole merch lines for this year, whether it's the podcast, like how to set up the podcast so it's sustainable.
Yes.
The different skits we want to do, the different partnerships we want to do, the different like events we want to throw.
Yes.
Right. And then we work with other nonprofits too here. So like that kind of stuff too.
Even that.
Where we have like some bigger stuff coming with them.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's pretty fun.
For sure.
And it's like, I think it makes a difference.
Yeah.
That's really the big goal. It's like, how do we bring opportunity to this place? That's always been the question, right? Like, how do you put your money where your mouth is? How do you like take a space like Kauai or Hawaii and say, well, yeah, we do have a bunch of problems for sure, but let's fix them.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm a firm believer that happens like in the private sector. Like it's hard for government to do it.
Yeah.
So I believe like if I'm going to say stuff needs to change, I better be there trying to change it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not the guy at home like, hey, somebody fix this road.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like, let's figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see you clocking in too much time on rants and raves. That's for sure. You know what I mean?
I'll read them sometimes.
I mean, it's entertaining.
It's entertaining.
I mean, it's material.
Oh no,
let's just be real.
Yeah, that's real comedy.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, I'm pretty hopeful for this year, and even more so for the years after.
Yeah.
Because what happens this year will only be like a small, like stepping stone of what's to come.
Yeah.
And then the kind of people I hope we attract because of like the work we do and the effort we put in, and that they're saying people with the same mindset. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting that there could be a team in Hawaii that could rival anybody else in the country or in the world. And that's what I believe.
Yeah.
Right. And it just takes effort, work, being smart, always like paying attention.
Yeah.
So just a bunch of stuff, but I think we can, right? And not by ourselves, but with more and more people.
Yes.
Because it would be sick to have the best media team in the country.
Oh,
in the
for
world,
sure.
Or like one of the best.
Yeah.
We were talking about how like, there's always like the pound for pound list in MMA.
Yeah. Like
we want to be on that list in the world.
Yeah.
Right? Like, is it John Jones? Is it Khabib? Is it Mighty Mouse?
Yeah.
Who knows? But they're all on the list. We want to be on that list.
Yeah. And guys are willing to argue valid points why they dare.
Exactly.
So yeah, this year and this year is flying. So I don't know what.
Yeah, it's like half February.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why we even did this thing real quick.
Yeah.
Like, we got to put one out.
Yeah.
We have to kind of like let people have like a progress report.
Exactly.
Of like what's going on. Because things are going on. It's just we weren't good at like keeping up to date.
Exactly. Yeah. And we want to make sure, like, you know, and I feel like we're at a point where we can be consistent for the podcast and a few other series, you know what I mean? And we've been spending a lot of time, you know, kind of setting stuff up, like Brandon was saying, behind the scenes, but, you know, whether it's furniture or building out sets or making sure we're even caught up from last year on stuff like that, getting sponsorship decks out and stuff like that, you know, so that we can focus and grind for to produce consistently.
Yeah. Because that's our thing. We need to be consistent.
Yeah.
We need to set ourselves up for success.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, bro, freaking, you know, I'm excited. The kind of the tone now when I go out is, you know, people are excited for what is to come. They see kind of a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes, whether it's a new space or us painting walls or like working on the floors and stuff like that. And, you know, everywhere I go, they're just super stoked and excited. They can't wait.
Yeah. And the support's been great.
Oh, support's been unreal.
Like, people have been like awesome.
I mean, our Patreon members, you know, that's been growing.
Dude, our Patreon, yeah. And we want to do some special stuff for you guys.
Yes.
So we got stuff in the plans. Trust me, in all the talking, that's part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Patreon members, bro. You know, you guys have allowed not just even aside from the financial support, like to see you guys want me and Bran and our content to succeed it's been like just a blessing from.
Well, I mean, they're literally part of the team, right? Like, from a morale standpoint, from a support standpoint, from the understanding that people actually want things to happen that are good and that they think you're part of that.
Yes, exactly.
You know, so that kind of stuff is like ultra uplifting, even when you're tired.
Yeah. When
you're tired and you've been grinding and they're like, well, all these people have been like supporting.
Yeah. Like,
we better shut up and just keep on going.
Exactly.
And like do a good job, right? And then not like happily.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a more of a reminder. When I see that, I'm like, oh shit. Like, you know, there is impact. It is purposeful what we're doing, you know?
And we've talked about it before, but that's why we do it, right? I mean, I don't know. Like, there's other things to make more money.
Yeah.
This is not the best money maker.
Yeah.
Like, at least not at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of like low-hanging fruit that we could go after if we just want to make money.
Yeah.
This is not the way. Mm-hmm. This is the more work. This is like building the foundation. This is hopefully building the community. Hopefully, like, we're earning your trust. Like, that's our goal. We're like, we need to be the guys and work hard and earn your trust.
That's right.
We don't want nothing for free.
Exactly. And I just want to, speaking of trust, like, I got to speak at a media summit that Kevin Matsunaga threw. It was at Moana Lua Performing Arts on Oahu. And it was unreal. Like, you know, to have kids, to be able to talk to students all around the state from all ages, you know, and have the cool thing is that the students had to sign up for which guest speaker and breakout session they wanted to be a part of. Bro, one of the sessions of like the 350 kids, 120 of them came to my breakout session. And, you know, just to see that kind of influence and them wanting to be there or soak in whatever I had to say is like, this is so much bigger and really just a start. But to be able to like talk to the kids and get their trust and get their attention is super important to me, you know, at least.
I mean, I wasn't there, but it was super uplifting or just hopeful for me that like there's that many kids who are in this space that are kind of killing it. Yeah. Like as like young people, like, you know, whatever, 13 to 17, 18, whatever. But like they're moving into a space that is growing in my mind. Yeah. They're moving into a space that will replace a lot of like these older industries, these older sectors in business. Yeah. And I'm stoked because I don't want Hawaii to like fall behind. Yeah. I don't want them to like miss the boat. Yes. And these kids are kind of like on that wave where I think it'll be ultra crucial. Yeah. Where to have that.
Exactly, because I mean, think of what we're doing, and what we want to accomplish, and multiply that by 10. Imagine how many jobs like in the field it opens up.
No, 100%.
Because we have a list of people that we would need. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. Well, I mean, we want like guys like Netflix to come down. We want to be able to do stuff for like these bigger companies that it replaces the dependence on tourism.
Mm-hmm.
It replaces the dependence on military. It might not 100% replace it, but it'll take a percentage away.
Yeah.
Hopefully a significant percent.
Yeah.
Where then you're not so dependent on these other things. Like, I mean, in any business, like, or any investing, like, one of the basic rules is like diversification.
Mm-hmm.
In Hawaii, as far as economically, we're not diversified.
Yeah.
So we're so held hostage by two industries, military and tourism.
Yeah.
And that's it. So we need to just balance out the scale a little bit. Those are fine. I don't think they ever go away, or they should go away, but they definitely shouldn't be the percentages they're at.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I mean, doing media, we can drive in revenue from all over the world. Mm-hmm. We're not even taking money from like the pool of Hawaii. We're saying, okay, all you in the rest of the world can now like put money, and then it goes into the Hawaii pool, which then builds up like essentially the market cap of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then that means everybody in Hawaii can make more money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like Hawaii's never going to get cheaper. Shit's expensive.
Yeah.
My sister just sent me like this house. Look at it. Like, I'm like, okay, so what's your plan?
Yeah.
Because it ain't cheap.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's not
she's
dropping.
like, I don't know. Well, yeah. So like, just generally, like the only way to balance it out, because nobody's going to drop housing prices, is that your median income has to be raised.
Yeah.
And if your median income gets raised, you need more industry or different flows to come in, and you can't pull it from within Hawaii. You got to pull it from outside sectors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this media can do. It can drive revenue from all over the world into these 8 tiny islands and help increase there. So like at least your earned income can be raised so that you can afford $1 million house, which is median. You know, that's your base starting point almost. You know, and even if you buy something under, you're going to have to put a couple $100,000 into it just to bring it up. So it's at $1 million.
Yeah.
And that just has to be your mindset. Like that has to be your mindset to like live here long term, or your kids live here.
Yeah.
Is that you got to earn that much money. It's not even about being rich. That's just break even. You know what I mean? That's I mean, it's hard because it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like for everybody. So everybody just has to kind of get on a page, you know? And then we can go and spend $50 at a restaurant for a plate lunch, but it won't break our bank because everybody else is making, and then the restaurants can make money and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a trickle-down effect.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody needs to bring in more revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way we can, like, really, like, buy properties at least. Sure, we can live here, but to actually own something and have something that can be passed down, build equity, build wealth, all those things, everybody's got to make more.
Yeah.
And hopefully these industries will do that.
Yeah.
Right? If they're spending $1 billion on making movies like Avatar, or $500 million on like Black Adam.
Guy, if I gotta dress up in a blue suit with all kinds of sensors, sign me up. You know what I mean?
Oh, did you
and
do that for like free?
Yeah, 100%. I love being on set.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, that hopefully, because Hawaiian people are talented. I give them that. They just need direction and like just direction. Like people teaching them like how the industries work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they always have the skill, right? Once they know what they got to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
No, but yeah, I mean, that's where we're going this year, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, just to kind of catch you guys up to speed and kind of get you guys on the same page of what we've been up to, what we're going to be doing and building for the next, you know, few months. It's super exciting. I cannot wait. Personally, I can't wait to start, you know, filming and having these sets that I can pop in my different characters.
Well, just do them consistently, right? As soon as the idea pops up, you go to the set, you turn on the camera, turn on the lights.
Yeah.
And you're filming.
Exactly.
You don't have to like build. Like it used to take us hour, 2 hours before every podcast just to set up every
For
time.
real.
And now to have a space where, okay, mics are there,
Lights.
cameras are there. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
If all I gotta worry about is if you have an SD card in here and the battery's charged, brother, that is like that's a huge win.
No, 100%.
You know, angles are all set. Focus is all there. It's unreal. And bro, I was looking at my YouTube. Back in 2016, my original fight style videos is getting like 90,000 views. I'm like, but you know what? It really was that every, I think, Friday, people could tune in and catch one brand new fight Fridays.
It was just consistent.
It was consistent. It was something that they could look forward to. And I mean, you want to talk about trust. It was every time at 6 p.m. Yeah. Going. So to even you know, have the opportunity again to create like that.
Well, that's the goal, right? Like, we want to have things every week, same day, always ready for you guys.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, that's part of it. We want you to be entertained, hopefully learn something, maybe a little bit inspired.
Yeah.
So that you can, like, do stuff in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or you just enjoy your life. Life is not always easy.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, we just put a smile up on that face, you know? And if you guys can look forward to the stuff that we create on a weekly, I mean, daily, if ever a daily, it's crazy, you know? And I think that just flows freaking into the products we make, you know? Like, we have a coloring book coming out. You know how much people are so pumped that, I'm talking adults, because the pages are so funny.
Yeah.
You know, they get to have a piece of like each character. It's like, I don't know, like, the more products that we make, the more stuff that we do is like, always the response always like gets me like, oh wow, like you know, you're super, so, oh, I need 10 or I need 22 for my whole class. I'm like, whoa, wow, I forgot. Yeah, teachers follow me too, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, right on. To be in a classroom and stuff like that is exciting. Full circle. Oh, brah. Just don't flush it down the toilet. Get custodians. You got to clean them off. You know what I mean? Oh, brah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, this year will be good. And there's lots more to come.
Yeah.
And like, we're going to be consistent. I mean, we're saying it.
Yeah. Oh, no. We are.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
We got to pay the rent.
Yeah. I was going to say, we got to be. Yeah. Yeah. But like me and Brian were talking last night, like there would have been no way, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but there's no way that I could have produced content at a consistent level, produce merch, fulfill merch, fly to Oahu, do gigs, do all these things from where I was, which was just like in the living room. There's no, and that's a huge reason why we needed a space, whether it was this space or that space or wherever.
Yeah. Just
couldn't handle.
I mean, it's even cool from like, I mean, to me, it's still like baby steps, but like from our first one, we're like, yeah, just turn on the camera. Let's do this.
Yeah.
In your living room. Like, or in Kaveh's grandpa's living room.
Yeah. Papa's living room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Papa Al.
But in his living room, to our makeshift space that they allowed us, which was super nice to do. And then to like this space where we kind of just have it set up for this. Like, nothing's moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, it's super sick. It feels like it happened so fast, but it wouldn't have happened if we didn't start that first one. You know
100%. Yeah.
Like at least the podcast.
Steps.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Do you feel comfortable talking about what we talked about last night?
100%.
Okay.
I do because it's not something that just went away. Trust me, I felt great after that talk.
Yeah,
but it's not something that just, I'm like, yeah,
like,
I got it.
And then I want to bring it up because I want more people to understand that it's normal.
Okay.
So like, I guess you want me to say? You say
yeah,
that?
I mean, you
so like, we were talking last night, and like Xavier like starts like asking me like, well, some things about like doing some gigs, which I'm like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, picking up gigs again.
But I was like, why are you doing it?
Mm-hmm.
And like, is it because it works, or when is it? Does it like mess with other schedules?
Yes.
like, so my point asking the question was like to figure out like, are you just nervous? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. So, and this is why I think having people who can just be freaking real, like straight with you, is important, because before that conversation, the thing that me and Brandon were on the same page, and I've said this 100 times. Oh yeah, I'm not taking any gigs. I have nothing. I have not committed to any concerts, weddings, project grads, whatever, because we're focusing on building this, and this is something that I want to build. This is something long term that I want to be doing. You know, so for me to have that conversation kind of out of nowhere last night, I was like, hey, Brand, like, you know, I was emailing a bunch of stuff, whatever, and I'm looking at booking a couple gigs, like a few gigs. His thing was like, oh, okay, like how much do you have, like a cap on like how much you're gonna do a month? I'm like, oh yeah, 2. And then he's like, oh, why? It's like, oh, because, you know, like in my mind, like if I don't start generating some revenue, I'm gonna be in a position that I don't want to be in. I'm trying to prevent being in a shitty position. You know what I mean?
No, 100%, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
My question wasn't about that. It was about reasoning why.
Yes. And my reason why was I felt and still feel like this is the first time that I have to really, whether it's pay rent or I don't know, be responsible or accountable or take charge or make sacrifices. That's honestly what it is. Because it's not the pay, it's what I might have to change in my life for now to make these things happen. Right? Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of just where I was at. You know, whether like I just kind of got in my own head on like, dude, like, you're paying rent now. Can you make this happen? Are you really down for this? You say you are, but now it's like time to, you know, pay for the last 2 months because Brand's been taking care of it. But so just having that in my head, along with a lot of, like you were saying, unknown, like not knowing really where all my money is going, or like clarity on that. Mm-hmm. So having to pay and like just unknown on like where all my finances was, it was real uneasy, and it was something that I wasn't used to. So I kind of like was like, I gotta freaking book gigs, you know, because I don't know what else to do.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I guess my point, even with you, is like, that's good. Mm-hmm. Like the feeling's good.
Yeah.
Like that's the feeling of like growth, right? Like everybody has to go through that. Oh shit! Like my back's against the wall. Like I need to make this happen.
Yes,
because that's why you make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
If it's easy, lots of times people just get lazy and like, I'll do it later.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, to me, it's a healthy, normal reaction. Mm-hmm. What it is now is like, you take this feeling, and do you let it dictate your actions, your next moves, your thoughts? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do you like say, hey, that's how I feel, like that came on, but like, what's the reality?
Yeah.
The reality is this, like, right? Like everything falls apart. We move out and we do whatever the hell we do. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that big a deal. Like, like that's the reality of like this, right? Like we want to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think I 100% think it'll work, mm-hmm. right? I think the numbers work. I think what we can do works. I think the impact we have makes sense, mm-hmm. and all that. Yeah. But like, it's a good thing. And again, the reason I bring it up is because I think a lot of people, especially in Hawaii, when they get that feeling, they shrink back and they don't do the thing. Yeah. And the important part is, in spite of that feeling, you keep on pushing forward because it makes sense. I'm not saying just do anything. Yeah. I'm saying in something that makes sense, push forward despite feeling scared, nervous, uneasy, awkward, whatever the feeling is. Yeah. Push through that and then come out the other side. Mm-hmm. And then that you'll be like one step higher, and then it'll come back again. Yeah. right? That's the thing is the next time.
That's what you're saying.
The next time, the next thing is going to be bigger. It's going to be a bigger sum of money.
Yeah.
That you're like, well, it took me a whole year to get that money.
Yeah. I mean, there's cameras out there that are more than this whole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was for me like. Honestly, it's you know what Brandon was saying. Like it's just. It was so unfamiliar for me. Like I was just like, after a few days went by, I'm like, hey, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing about it? Or what the hell are you doing? Like really, you know? So when a few days pass, I'm like, oh, F this. Like, F this, I gotta book gigs. You know, I'm gonna book gigs. I'm gonna freaking eat knowing that the more right, if I can book a bunch of gigs.
Yeah, no,
but,
and let's explain why I say why we say.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I can book a bunch of gigs, that's no problem. But the time that it takes me not just away from here, I get into like if I'm concert mode or wedding, and I don't know if you guys do that kind of things, but I get into a mode where I kind of just never want to look at my script, so I try to just get into whether it's names, whether it's announcements, I'm just in it. I don't write funny stuff. I don't care about the pod. You know what I mean? Like, not that I don't want it to happen. I just can't.
Well, you're very tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Right. So you got this wedding come up. You're like, oh, I got to go practice these people's names.
Yeah.
I got to go practice this, and like, I think it's good. Right. It means you want to do a good job, and I agree with that, but there's a trade-off.
Exactly.
The trade-off is you don't do content.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's
long
why.
term, and I want you to say what you say to me is long term, right? Or the reason I get these gigs, the reason why we can do these commercials is because of the content.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, you get gigs because people see your content and like are entertained or inspired or whatever. And then you're going to do gigs and you're not going to do content. And in 2 years, people don't see any content and they don't want to book you anymore.
Yeah.
And then you have to start your career over from scratch.
Yes.
Right? Where you have to like start doing content again, but from zero because everybody forgot about you.
Yeah.
And the algorithm and the platforms don't like you anymore.
Exactly.
And then you'll do that and then you'll do gigs again.
Uh-huh.
And it's like kind of a like a vicious
then 8 years
cycle,
later.
right? So I mean, nothing's wrong with doing gigs. It's the volume.
Yeah.
I don't think people understood the
volume.
volume.
Yeah.
Of gigs you're doing, right? Like it's like you'll do 3 a week, right? You'll do whatever, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you literally have no time to do anything else.
Yes.
Like that's why from mid-December to mid-January there was no time.
Yeah.
Because it was gigs. I mean, and they're great opportunities with great people, so that's not like a bad thing. But what does it do for
the things that I want? Yeah, exactly.
For what you told me your goals are.
Exactly. And that's full circle why I have to just reinforce why it's important to, because honestly, after that conversation last night was just, it needed to happen for personally. I'm like, because I'm in my own mind. I don't really like talk. I try not to put that on anyone really, and I don't even want to put it on you. But I'm like, if I'm gonna if it's gonna come out, it has to come out with brand and just, well, because for one, you understand too, we're kind of in this together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, but yeah, but just full circle, I just think it's super important. If there's one thing that I would want for anyone is really to just have people in your corner to just right. If you say it, if you really are saying your goals is what your goals are, you cannot, and if you get mad or feel weird or whatever, like when someone kind of holds you accountable, then in my mind that's not really your goal at the time. I don't know how else to put it, because the thing is I'm like, right, you know what I mean? Like, no, that is what it is. Like, just for me, get out of my own head, like look at it for what it is, and I just think that's super important.
Yeah. And again, I don't bring it up for like being all emo or whatever. I bring it up because I think a lot of people go through this.
Yeah.
And I've gone through it. right? Like that's why I'm more comfortable with it, is because I've gone through it.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, holy shit.
God.
Oh, dude, I've been like in certain businesses, especially before, like you just go home and like cry.
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit, I don't know how this is gonna work. You know, you're tired as hell and you're freaking like been working for like 150 hours or whatever. Like you've only been working and sleeping a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you just like things don't work that well. And then you're just like, oh no. And then eventually they do, but not off the bat.
Yeah.
Right? But like that's the thing, is if you give up when that stuff's hard, you know, like if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. But if it's just because you're nervous or it's hard, then that's not a good enough reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because that's where your potential is, on the other side of that. So, I mean, that's the thing, is like, what is your goal? If you told me your goal is like, I want to just make money and kind of like do this, I'd be like, yeah, go do gigs.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's not that.
Yeah.
well, because even like after last year, I'm like, whole guy. Like for me, I'm like, whole brother. Maybe throttle it even if I'm not doing this. That's just where I was.
Yeah, but if you did that, then you wouldn't, like, you still wouldn't have enough. Like, we're talking about like how people have to make more money.
Yeah.
Then you can't own a house. You can't do this. You can't build this. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because of just, you're capped on basically your hourly rate. And that's it. And even if it's a good hourly rate, it's still
capped.
Yeah. Well, it's not enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, even that, like, I just feel like there's a cap, I guess, for everything. Maybe, I don't know. But I just think podcast, content creation, all the different series that we're going to start, merch, products.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's where I want to be, because it's where I want to be. I'm not going to get there working the gigs that I've been working. You know, like there's...
Well, just from a time perspective.
Just from a time perspective, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know myself. I'm like, I'm not going to clock 2 weeks on Oahu, you know, like, and like 10 shows, and then filming, and then wedding, and all this, and then in between. That's just not me. Some guys guarantee they kill it, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not me. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
No, 100%. And that's important, right? Just understanding what the goal is, what's possible, what help you need, right? That's why we always talk about team, is because me and him can't do it. Like, that's silly.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
There's things we're both not good enough at, right? I need an accountant.
Yeah.
I need, like, a good, like, admin lady who just, like, yells at me because I did something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need, like you, talent, right? Like, people who are genuinely, like, because it's not just about being funny, but genuinely happy about that. I think that's what I think most people kind of like trip out on with you, even more than like the content thing, is that when you're in public and somebody meets you, you're genuinely stoked to talk to them.
Yeah.
Right. Versus, like, I know other people, even more mainstream in LA, that are not. They think of it as kind of like an irritation.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that will eventually come through, and you won't be able to work through that. But I think that's why you do well in your thing.
Yeah.
Or one of the reasons, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not. I'm like the guy who likes to be left alone. I don't want to be on this podcast.
Yeah.
In the sense of like being seen.
Yes.
But I think there's a lot of value to it.
For sure.
And like, I was raised with this thing where, well, if you can, you should do it.
Yeah.
If it makes things better than it was, if you didn't do it, then do it.
Yeah.
Right. And just because of that.
And that's why, what a great dynamic, because I'm also, I don't want to be but honestly, I don't mind. It fills my cup to hear, like, when I go out, like, hey, bro, that was on Killer Podcast. Right on. You mean, oh yeah, stay tuned, this and that. Where people will go up to Brand like, hey, that was on Solid, you know, I enjoy it. It's like, oh, you know, thank you. But it works, because what he brings to the content, podcast, and everything that we build is just kind of the stuff I'm just not good at. Like, and even more so if I can just tap into my writing, my creative, my on-camera presence, and doing what I love, talking to fans, guy, I'm gonna be the happiest person ever for forever. You know what I mean? And then if you can do what you do, which is build business, building people up, helping people freaking figure themselves out for the better, and really like, but for real, like I don't know, like there's things that I thought that I wanted or things that I think that was the thing, but it really wasn't. It really isn't, you know? I think you draw that out of people, but I was gonna say something about talking to the kids. I forget what it was. It was when you were talking about stuff. It'll come back to me though, I hope. Yeah.
No, and that's generally our goal with this, right? Is like everybody on our team does well. Like, and if everybody's on our team, like the whole state, then frick, I want everybody to do well.
Exactly.
Do you know
thrive, kill.
Yeah, I want, and like, mind you, like when I say team, I mean we want other talent.
Yeah.
We want other people on stuff to work with.
100%.
Right? We can't work with everybody. Like if the brands don't align, but if they do, like we want to.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't align, we still wish them the best.
Exactly.
Because we think it's funny.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like we like it.
Yes.
You know, but we just have the things we do. You know.
That's a lot of the thing, like, right, in Hawaii. And you know, I might as well, but you know, there's a lot of different styles in Hawaii. And they all work, and we always talk about this. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of different content creators and stuff like that, and you know, some from brands aligning, a lot of the creators we don't really work with because it just doesn't really work. Like I feel like we've built such a not trust, or I don't know what I'm really trying to say,
but it's the brand. It's like what you do, right? I mean, and probably the most obvious, like if we just say, is that your stuff's clean.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care what people say. I swear all the time.
From saying,
do you know what I mean?
You know but that is.
I also don't swear in the middle of a board meeting.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, I swear when I think it's time and when I don't. Like, and if other people like have a different opinion on when those times are, whatever. I don't care. Like, they can do whatever they want. Yeah. Like,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, good for them. Like, and I hope they're super successful.
Yeah.
Like, I want everybody to be successful, because I think if everybody's successful, I'll be more successful. Yeah. It's just a rising tide kind of theory. Yeah. You know, it's like an abundance theory. Whatever kind of like things you subscribe to, every different one has some kind of this. Like, if everybody does well, then everybody does well. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Even like, you want to measure yourself by the lowest person in your society, not by the highest. Yeah. So you want that lowest person to be high. You know? Mm-hmm.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I'm glad that we got to where we're talking to in this conversation, because, you know, after talking with the kids and the topic for my breakout session was how I went from being a custodian to a comedian, and how I view social media to kind of, you know, help me along the way. And the most interesting thing is when I opened up the Q&A, most of the kids were more interested in how I've dealt with, or if I had any struggles, adversity, and what that looked like, whether it was falling out with how working with other content creators is, what if you don't get booked, what if you don't get these partnerships and stuff, and how I've handled that. And I feel like just in this conversation, and I freaking hope I'm going to blast this to some of the teachers, is I want them to listen to this, because just because you get to a certain point, whatever point you think that is, because for me, we finally have a space, guys. This is something that I've been wanting, didn't know how it would have happened, but I just think it's super important that even as you get there, like, holy shit, still yet, I'm like, brah, this is the gnarliest thing that I've ever went through. Where a few years back, leaving custodian, like a state job, kind of into the unknown of this KHON gig and not getting paid till 8 months later, and not knowing crap. I'm like, it's in the same ways. It's like a lot of the same feelings, but I just want people to know, like, no matter who you or I can't say who you are, no matter where I am, I still get those feelings. So I don't want you guys, specifically the kids that I was talking to, like, I don't want you guys to put me up here and like, oh, this guy's got it all figured out and he's so cherry and he has Toyota and he has all these things, that he still doesn't have to deal with stuff.
100%, right? And I think that's important, that the feelings and the emotions you feel, everybody feels that. It's like, just people who are successful or not is usually how you deal with that, right? How you allow that to like affect you and affect your choices.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody feels like from the time you're in high school before till the time you die.
Yeah.
There's a whole plethora. It never goes away. It might change. The things you might feel might be different, or the things that affect you might be different, or the size of the thing you're doing might be different. So it's more massive, but it's always these different feelings that come up, arise, insecurities, doubts, fear.
That's
like, all these kind of things are normal.
That's why it was so weird for me, who was like, and for us to have kind of planned out this whole thing, really. And then all of a sudden, there's a little bit of doubt. There's a little bit, I'm like, for me, because I'm not going to lie, I'm not that doubtful. Like, I get nervous. Pauly Shore opening for him, the Green opening, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is nuts, like, whatever. But there is always a point I'm like, nah, guy. Like, yes, you're nervous. Yes, you might bomb. But whatever. For this, I'm like, oh, bro, all the times that I gonna freaking down myself, this now, right here, like, the thing that we've been working towards for forever, the thing that we've kind of flushed out thoroughly. So I couldn't crack it. I'm like, what happened? Like, what's going on? Like, so I couldn't shake it, and it just kind of like came out the way it came out, you know, but it's because that's why.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like, I know that, right? So that's normal. But the thing is, like, don't ignore it. Just like hit it head on and deal with it. And like, come to grips with it. Figure it out why. Is this like a real fear, or is this like unsubstantiated?
Yes.
You know, is there no reason I should be scared of this? Right? And that's it. Because like, every time there's change, it's weird. Like, because you're out of your routine.
It's interesting because we've talked about that for a while, and I'm always like, yeah, bro, like, people, they don't get, you know what I mean? I am always on the same page, but here I am like, oh shit, what the hell is going on?
No, 100%.
You know, in my own mind.
And it happens to everybody. That's the thing. There's no like special person unless you're a psychopath. You know, like, well, I mean, that's kind of like by definition of psychopath.
Oh,
you
yeah?
know? Well, you don't feel like these emotions.
Oh, wow.
Or you don't feel empathy and these kind of things, which means then you don't feel like the fears.
At least you guys know I'm not a psychopath, because brother was feeling all kind stuff.
Yeah.
Trust me.
But yeah, so no. And again, I just want to bring it out because I think hopefully it'll benefit people.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not like necessarily a fun thing to bring in the open per se.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think there's a bunch of people out there who want to make choices, leaps, go for something, and they get nervous.
Yeah.
And then they just shrink back and say, I'm just going to stay wherever I am.
Yeah.
Right? And then they kind of just go through this lifelong thing of regret of like, maybe I should have tried that.
See,
maybe I should have put the effort in.
That's where I cannot come to terms with myself and say, oh, you at 28, you're freaking prime, you know what I mean? Kind of tripped, kind of didn't figure it out, or wasn't, even less of that, you weren't willing to try to figure it out or make it work. You just did what you used to do. You just, you know what I mean, kind of had back pedal. Because that's, I don't care how we flip it, really. I just can do what I know work.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
No, and it's, like I said, it's natural, right? Like, people do that. They're like, well, this works, you know, it's the devil I know kind of thing. You know, so it's like, okay, we'll just do what I do.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for sure something's going to happen. Right? Versus like being like, no, there's the potential is here,
See.
you know. And I mean, even bringing this up, like I want people to know, like we're pretty much always like transparent. If you asked us this on the street, we'd be like, no, I'm scared.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing that I'm happy with what our brand is really, really freaking relatable. It's really from people don't have to be a certain way or dress a certain. There's weirdos out there. I mean, trust me, there's like awkward people. I'm awkward. But posting that stuff of my dad on them, I know for a fact he's going to cry when he sees that because, and even for me, I'm like, oh shit, it's unreal. The type of connection that people feel and that we have with people is unreal.
Right. And that there's like, that's the thing is they're part of it, right? All those people who are watching and doing it, like, I really don't, maybe they don't get it because they just kind of like, they're like, whatever, easy thing.
Yeah.
But it is like an impactful thing.
Yes.
Like we go over it and like, wow, that's kind of amazing.
No, for real. And that's what I want you guys to know now that we're going to be posting videos that you can see is like, it's important for you guys to know that like and I said this all the time, but to run into you guys in public and talk story, like it really fills my cup. I enjoy it, I really do. Cause when I was working as a custodian and stuff like that, I was always been praying like, come on, like Lord, like there's gotta be something, you know what I mean? There's just gotta be more. I don't even know what it was. I was like, and every interaction, every time I get to talk story with you guys, it really just like, Z, that's what it is. Like those moments, like, like we can make hits all day. We're going to. Yeah. You guys can see them. And I love that. But there's something to walking down Ward Village in freaking Nalus and just being stopped by workers and like freaking, it's like, it just reminds me like, nah, bro, like you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like this is, you don't know what you were asking for, but this is it. It's always a reminder. So continue to remind me that what we're doing is freaking killer. Like we always try to be purposeful and intentional with what we're doing. But every time I see you guys, I'm like, right on, brah. Mahalos. Mahalos to you guys.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Lots more to come.
Yeah. Choke coming up. And
we still have a lot more work to do in here.
Yes.
But it's coming along good.
Yes.
So
yeah, a lot quicker than what I thought how it was gonna happen. You know what I mean? I mean, what did you say? We've been here for like 3 weeks. We've been working on it maybe for 3 weeks because I was gone. I was gone until January 7th.
Yeah. So 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 weeks. So it was like 3 weeks, and we've gotten a bunch done. Yeah, and I mean, we got this set. Kumu's set should be done by next week.
Yeah.
A couple days. We got Fight Styles set.
Yep.
That'll be coming up. And then we got a bunch more. We got green screens.
Yes.
Right? I mean, there's just stuff we want to do. Like the skills in the storytelling and the humor. But it's nice to have tools.
100%.
Yeah.
Necessary to have those tools.
Yeah. And it'll just hopefully accentuate the storytelling and all the funny stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But still, thank you guys. All this stuff is because of you, 100%.
Yeah.
It's because of the support. It's because the demand. It's because the reactions.
Yes.
It's because, yeah.
Yeah, you guys unknowingly, I mean, this is what I mean when I say you guys are really a part of the team. Like, you guys always take our content to a whole different level, whether it's just commenting or, sharing and stuff like that. The sharing really helps. But when you work with companies who go from traditional cookie cutter type stuff and they try something like utilizing us, whether it's script writing or posting on our platform, and you guys give them that kind of response, you guys don't know what that does for us. So I honestly just want to thank you guys for for all your guys' continued love and support, because you guys create the opportunity. You guys create that opportunity for us. You know, we got to put in the work, and the more you guys love it, the more we get to rock. So, you know, stay tuned, guys. We got a lot coming, like we said, and you know, as a space kind of gets finalized, different sets are being built. We'll continue to update you guys. Don't forget, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because we're going to be posting a bunch of content vlogs on the build out and kind of the start to finish process of coming into our new space. So I've been filming nonstop. We haven't been posting, but we're getting to a point where now we can kind of edit some stuff. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Right on. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah. Mahalos, you guys. Tune in next week. Download this episode. Like, share, comment. I don't know if you can, but I'll see you guys next week on another episode of How's This. All right. Aloha.